Hey YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've actually got a couple of different orders here, all kind of thrown into one from PSA. We finally got them back. It's been taking a little bit of time. This is actually 3 different orders and I'll explain it while we go through it. So without further ado, this is my first time actually going through everything. PSA is definitely taking a little bit longer for sure. They still have a bit of a backlog going on there, and I think they have 2, if not maybe 3 of my orders right now that they have, but they haven't marked them as received yet. And they've had them for at least a couple weeks, so I'm getting a little nervous, right? Like, it's always that time in between where you're like, I know I dropped off my cards, but they haven't been marked as received yet, and you just want to know that they're accounted for somewhere, right? So I'm kind of hoping that PSA will adjust something over there just so that you know your cards are safe while they're working through the backlog. You know, I would like that. I know you guys would like that. Drop a comment down below if you guys are going through the same thing. All right, but without further ado, let's jump into these. Again, 3 orders. One of them is a 1-card order. Then there's some autographs in here and then a regular card submission. So I will start it off this way. The first card here is going to be a Julio Rodríguez. This is the short print, or I think super short print. Let's flip it around and see what it is. All right, this is the short print. This is from the silver packs. This is 2022. I thought this looked pretty good, honestly. But then when I got it back in the slab, I saw there's like a little tiny thing right there. I think you guys can see that. And so now that I see that, I'm like, well, I didn't spot that before, but I see it now. Was it there before? I'm just going to say probably. But other than that, this is a really, really nice card. I like how it looks. I obviously jumped on the Julio bandwagon this year, hoping he has a nice little rebound season. I think he will. You know, that remains to be seen. I think a lot of people also feel that way, and I think, you know, we're going to see how he does. But, you know, Rookie of the Year, and obviously his prices were really high. I mean, at some point, I would love to get a Bowman Chrome auto of his. I am a Bowman Chrome guy, so, you know, I'd like to have an auto of his, but his prices are still super high. A lot of stuff sort of baked in right now, so gonna wait and see on that. But in the meantime, I did pick this one up, and I think there's one more in this order somewhere. So this is just getting us started. All right, put this down. Next up is gonna be a Bobby Witt. And this is sort of similar. I did look at this when I first got this back. I thought this was a really cool card, a throwback to the 1993. This is the What If 1993. Says party parody. I don't know what that stands for, but anyways, a throwback. Obviously, could have just put throwback. I don't know. This one got a 9, and again, similar thing here where I was just kind of like, wow, how did this get a 9? It's super nice, super clean, but I do think I saw something somewhere, maybe. I was pretty sure. I looked at it pretty thoroughly when I first got it back, and I did see something, so I'm just going to kind of let it go. Maybe it was like a little dimple somewhere or something. But, oh my gosh, Bobby Witt prices are through the roof right now. I would love to buy more Bobby Witt, especially a Bowman Chrome Auto, and now to get like a refractor at a $4.99, you're paying about $3 to like $3,500 for a PSA 10. I mean, they're pretty up right now. The prices on Bobby Witt are pretty up right now. So I've been finding, you know, if you guys have been following the channel, you know I like to collect the gold refractors. So I saw this one and I snagged it. And, you know, I do have a couple more orders with some more gold Bobby Witts on the way back. So once we get those back, I'll be showing them here on the channel. But I thought this was really cool. This is kind of like when I was growing up in the 90s, this is the kind of stuff we were opening. So this is very nostalgic in a way. I really like the throwback. I think it's a beautiful card. I love it. So very happy to have it. That's going to be in the PC for show. All right. Oh, all right. I know the next card here. So if you guys remember, this one was, I believe, the first card of Julio Rodríguez to come out. And this was a short print. And they made short prints of Julio, Bobby, and Spencer Torkelson. And this one got a 10. This is the SP So this one's really nice. I looked this card over and I was like, this is a for sure lock 10. So I would have been surprised if it got anything other than a 10. Love this card. I mean, I'm definitely a collector first and foremost. So a lot of these cards I buy, I hold them. They go in my PC. I only really move cards to get more cards. And even then, it is tough for me to part with almost any of my cards. It's really tough. So I just really like this image. I remember when this card first came out, actually, when this card first came out, everybody was hyped on Julio. And I think I was one of the only guys in the group of my friends that was like, you know what? I think Julio is a little bit overpriced. I really like Bobby Witt Jr. I think I'm going to buy his cards. And so I started buying a lot of Bobby Witt Jr., you know, SPs and SSPs and whatnot. And now that the prices have come down on Julio, I think he's worth jumping into, hence why I got these two right here. And again, I'm hoping he has a bounce back year, but regardless, at least I know I bought in on these two cards at a lower price point than where they were a couple of years ago. So really nice to add this to the collection. Glad that it graded well. All right, we'll move along. We will move along. Next up here, I've got a Heritage 2018 Shohei Ohtani. This one got a 10. Right. You can buy these. I think I've mentioned this before here in the channel, but you can get these for around 45, 50 bucks. Although I think now that the season started, I think a lot of people are trying to get around 60 for them. You can get them in 9s for around 60. But if you get them in a 10, I think they go for around 150 to 200. Now, that might say to a lot of people, hey, you know, maybe you should just sell this card and that will cover most of the grading, right? But obviously, you all know Shohei is one of the GOATs. He's going to be remembered for a long time. So in that case, maybe you just don't sell them. And I can talk myself into this all day. I can always talk myself into why I should keep a card. It's really tough for me to talk myself into selling a card. So if you guys can talk me into it, I'm all ears. All right. Anyway, I'll put that one over here. Got a couple more. Oh, this one was actually from my childhood collection. This is a Bo Jackson Future Stars 1987 Topps PSA 9. I knew this one was a little bit off-center, or at least it looked off-center. That's probably why I got the 9. But other than that, it's in great shape. And because it's from my childhood collection, I'm just happy to have this in a slab, in a decently high grade. And, you know, I'm really happy with it. So there you go. There you go. For those of you who don't know who Bo Jackson is, you should definitely check out some footage. I imagine a lot of you, if not all of you, know who he is. But just in case you don't, he was one of the first two-way players to play baseball and football. And he was phenomenal. He was like MVP status in both leagues. He was really, really great. So if you are not familiar with Bo Jackson, definitely check out some stuff on YouTube. You will not be disappointed, I promise. All right. Next up, I got a Rickey Henderson rookie. Now, I'm familiar. I looked at this card when I got the grade. I'm very, very happy with the grade. We got an 8. We got an 8. Now, that's a really nice grade in this card. I'm very happy with this. These are tough to grade. 8s. This is the highest grade that I have in the Rickey so far. Obviously, RIP for Rickey, but he was the GOAT as far as base stealing goes. I mean, to give you an idea, you know, we've made it so the distance between the bases is slightly shorter. We've made the bases bigger. We've made it so pitchers can only throw over a couple times. And still, not Ellie De La Cruz, not Ronald Acuna, you know, nobody is even coming close to Rickey's record. So just showing you he's the GOAT. We're giving people like a head start. We're like, hey, we're gonna give you all the advantages, and they're not even coming close. So to have this in an 8, I'm really, really excited about it. I think it's one of the records that will not be broken for the foreseeable future. And, you know, I used to love watching him play. So happy to have this in an 8. I think it's my second 8, if I remember correctly. I think I have one more somewhere, and I've got a bunch of 7s and stuff. But I love collecting Rickey, and I hope to one day get a 9. That's on the agenda for me. Next up, I see this card right here, and there's definitely a little bit to talk about this. This is the start of my duel submission, so maybe I can even sort of put these away a little bit, but I will talk you through it. every now and then I get a card where I think, hey, you know what? This one is worth reviewing. And this next card is going to be one of those, and I'll explain why. All right, so this is a Craig Kimbrell. Just got signed back with the Atlanta Braves. I think to a minor league deal, and I imagine he's gonna sort of work himself up to the big leagues and maybe finish off his career there. But this is out of 199, so it's the blue, I think 2011 Topps Chrome Auto. And it's a beautiful card, but it got an 8. So I know why it got the 8. I just don't think an 8 is warranted. There's a little something on it. You won't be able to see it. It's real small. It's just a little tiny one of these two corners, I think. So I'm going to be submitting this one for review, and I'm sure I'll either make a video of that or I'll show it when I get it back. But I would really like to have this in a 910. I think that's what it should be. I know it got graded an 8, but, you know, me occasionally I like to challenge, you know, throw out the challenge flag and see what happens. And we've had some luck. So I think I'm going to do that with this one. So I'll put that one up here. Everything else, though, I pretty much expected what I got. Like here we have an Aranola, and the Aranola out of 499. This one came back a 9 and a 10. And I think there was like a little... I think you could see it. There's like a little something right there. So I kind of knew it was going to get a 9. But Aranola is probably, you know, one of the top 10 pitchers in the league for the last couple of years. So I wanted to get this in a slab. Really nice. It just, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it shows, it displays really, really nicely. And the refractor just shines really great. It's a great card. So happy to have that one. Moving on. Oh, this one I got this card. Carlos Correa, blue. I know a lot of people have sort of given up on him at the moment, and it's a great time to buy him if you believe in him. I know a lot of people are worried about, you know, his ankle injury, but so far it hasn't really stopped him. I know his numbers have kind of been down, you know, since he joined Minnesota, but if you believe in him, his numbers are still good, and he's still relatively young. So as long as the injury doesn't really bother him too much, I think it could be a good time to buy. I got this card for $100. I think if you check eBay sales, I literally bought this card for $100 flat. And I was able to send this to PSA and get the 910, and I'm very happy with that. You know, it's almost like if you were to take most, you know, Beckett 9.5s and try to cross them, you'd probably get a 9, right? For most of them, unless it's like quad 9.5s, and even then sometimes I don't cross. So I got $100 in on this card, and I'm happy with that. I've got one more of these. I think it's a PSA slab, but it might be a Beckett slab. I gotta double check. But anyway, happy with this one. Still moving along. Oh, this is cool. This was relatively cheap card. I think I bought this one for like $15, guys. This is just a refractor out of 499. Christian Walker. Look, he's a solid ball player. He is super underrated, undervalued. I just like how he plays. He's just a super solid first baseman. He's gonna hit you tanks. He's gonna get you RBIs. He's clutch. He's just fun to watch. So for like $15, I was like, I cannot resist this. I'm for sure gonna pick up an auto with this guy. So yeah, got a Christian Walker to add to the list. Happy with that. I think we got what, like 5 more here. Oh, this guy. Let's see which one this is. This is the out of 499. This is the one I was thinking about selling, and then I found out today that he got injured. Now, they haven't come out and they haven't said how bad it is. I think it's just a strain, and they're going to do some scanning and see what's going on, because he, next to Paul Skeens, is probably their best pitcher. I think it's Paul Skeens, Jared Jones, and then Bubba Chandler, I think. Maybe I'm missing a couple guys. Forgive me if I'm missing something. I know Martin Perez is over there, and he's a super solid pitcher as well. So, you know, I'm not really sure how it's all going to play out, but I think those are the top 3 names that they're talking about. Maybe that's just the top 3 prospects, but there you are. Anyway, the reason why I thought about selling this one, because as I mentioned earlier in the video, I do have a little bit of a tough time selling, is because, let's see if I could find it really quickly. Yeah, here we go. Because I also got this one. All right, so I guess I was going to keep the blue and then sell the refractor and try and pay for some of this, some of the grading fees. But I like Jared Jones a lot. I really hope everything comes back and it's all good, all gravy, and he's able to pitch. Because, you know, he's a great pitcher. And furthermore, if you're fantasy, You know, if you're a fantasy guy, I think he's a great guy to just kind of stash away. Like if he does start the season off injured, just stash him. Put him on your injured list, your IL, and just let him sit there for a little bit. When he comes back, he's going to put up good numbers. At least that's what I would try and do. So anyway, I put them down here. All right, what else we got? We got, I think, 4 more here. Next up, Andres Munoz. He is, I believe, the closer for the Mariners. Every time I watch this guy, he is lights out. He's really, really fun to watch. So I picked this up, and we got a 10 on it. 10 in the auto. Sorry, 10 in the auto, 9 in the card. Gold refractor. So cool. I think this was this centering? I don't know. Centering looks pretty good, so maybe it's not the centering, but definitely check him out. Obviously, this card, he's on the Padres, but I think he's on the Mariners right now, and he's their closer. He's their guy. So definitely check him out if you get a chance. Like that one. Yeah, 3 more to go. Ozzy Albies. This one got an 8. This one got an 8. And I know why. It has like, let's see if I can show you guys. It had like something on the back. I think it was like a little dimple or something on the back, but that's why this one got an 8. Ozzy Albies, again, another guy I think you can kind of buy low right now because he's super talented when he plays. I think injuries have kind of plagued him a little bit, but if he can be healthy, you know, I think he's a good buy low guy because his WAR numbers are good, his stats are good, and he's on a great team with the Atlanta Braves. So I think just, you know, if you like him, buy low. But again, look, I got to say this, you know, I'm not telling you what to do with your money. It is your money. You do what you want with it. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you who to collect here. Just somebody that I thought I like how he plays and could be a good opportunity to buy. So I jumped in and bought one. Yeah? Yeah? Cool. Obviously, though, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Hit me up. You know, I'm on Instagram as well. And, you know, I just love to collect. I love to talk baseball. I love to chat with you guys. So another buy low guy, MJ Melendez. Right? MJ Melendez. This one came back at 10-10. This is cool. I have a couple of these. I think he's got potential to be a 30-plus home run guy, possibly even a 40 home run guy. And the reason why I say that was because I think his last season in the minor leagues, he did hit 40 home runs. So I know he's got it in him. I just hope he does it. You know, I hope he lives up to that potential because he's got so much of it. So let's see what happens. MJ Melendez on the Royals, in the same lineup as Bobby Witt Jr. And this guy, I mean, he's playing the outfield now, but he can catch. He can play first base. I mean, you know, they've got Vinny Pasquantino at first base, but they can move this guy around if they need to. Maybe they need a DH Vinny for a day or two. They can put this guy wherever he wants. So I like MJ Melendez. Also, I think he's a card collector, and I think he's also, he comes across as being a really sort of friendly, nice guy. So good guy to collect. We got 2 more. One more is Corbin Burns now with the Arizona Diamondbacks. This one came back at 9. This is the refractor out of 499. Yep. I've got a bunch of Corbin Burns. Some people I've seen are not too high on him as far as being a collectible pitcher. But I've been collecting Corbin Burns for a couple of years. And I got to say, this guy's a workhorse. He's one of the guys, I mean, I don't want to jinx him. I'm going to knock on wood here. Knocking on wood here. He doesn't come across to me as somebody who is going to get hurt. His delivery is repeatable. It doesn't look like he's straining himself on every pitch. I know he puts everything into it, but you know, when I watch him, his mechanics look sound, and I don't think he's a guy who is really at high risk of injury. And he's been a top Cy Young candidate for the last, 5 years? His strikeouts are over 1,000. I think last season he hit 1,000 strikeouts. I think he can easily get to 2,000, if not 3,000, if he just stays healthy and just keeps doing what he's doing. I think he averages over 200 strikeouts per season. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I like Corbin Burns. I like him. I think the argument that I heard is that he's not going to be collectible because he's played on too many teams. I don't know about that. You know, is that true? Maybe. Like, would he have more collectability if he just played with one team? I don't know. Truly, I don't. Because maybe you could argue that for somebody like Clayton Kershaw, right? Played on one team for his whole career, and his collectability with that team is super high. But, you know, look at Justin Verlander. Verlander's been with, 4 or 5 teams at this point, and I think he's still very collectible. So I think Corbin Burnes being on his 3rd team right now, I don't think it really hurts him too much in the long run. Maybe in the short term, because what ends up happening is when people get traded, the guys who had their cards, they kind of dump them. They're like, you know what, he's not with my team anymore. I don't want to collect him anymore. But as long as they continue and their stats are good, I think their collectability goes up. So I like Corbin Burnes again. I have more than a bunch of these. I probably have about 11 or 12 of these. All different colors, all different shades, all different things. I got a couple golds, couple blues, but I like him. Like, if I had a fantasy team, he'd be my #1 pitcher probably. I think if I could, because I think he's going to be reliable. Like, I love Chris Sale. I think Chris Sale is a great pitcher. He's going to get you a lot of great fantasy numbers, but he also may get hurt. I mean, there's obviously a chance anybody gets hurt, but if you look at Corbin Burnes, what's his injury history? Doesn't really have much. So anyway, sorry guys, clearly I'm rambling here, but you can tell I love baseball. Season's just about to get started, and I just love to chat baseball and love to talk cards and, players. So anyway, this was my my duel submission here. So you can see there's some color in there, some good stuff, some refractors, some good grades, mostly 9s, couple 10s, couple 8s, but again, I'm gonna submit this one for review. So, I'll wait till I get a couple more that I can submit them all together, and we'll see how we do. I did submit one card that this was on its own, because I have this card and I gave it to a buddy of mine and he ended up getting it signed for me. So I'm just going to show you guys the card here. It's the SP. It is the 1991 design variation Corbin Carroll with a white pen auto, a white marker. This is probably my favorite image of any rookie card of Corbin Carroll. And I love the 1991 design variation. This is obviously the Stadium Club. And I just love this whole look right here of him just so laser focused on that ball. It's just great. I love this. I love it. I love it. I love it. Such a great image. The reason why I went authentic, I think there's like a little, I'm just here, fully transparent. There's something I saw on the back where I just knew, like, hey, you know what? Maybe it'll get a 9, but it's not a 10. So rather than, put an 8 up there on the card, I just wanted it to say authentic. This is going in my PC. I'm not trying to, trade it or sell it or anything. I just think this is really cool, and he's having a really awesome spring training. So if that's any indication of how the season's going to go, I'm pretty excited to see that. So anyway, that's my last card, and I just wanted to share this all with you guys. If you guys are looking for any supplies, any, card holders, any, penny sleeves, card savers, anything you guys need, mailing supplies, I would say go to Card Shells. There's going to be a link in the description below. You guys can get, I think it's like $10 off or 10% off or something. But just if you need supplies, it's a good place to go, and you guys will get a little something back. I do not get any like finances or any money or anything like that from them. They do give me a little bit off of supplies as well if you use the code down below, which is just MJR Sports Cards. So yeah, and it'll help you guys out too. But that's it for me. Again, please go down there. YouTube loves comments. So I figure we can make it conversational. Go in there. You guys can ask me questions. I'll do my best to answer them. I don't think I've missed any comments on any of the newer videos in a long time. So find me there. Find me on Instagram. Happy card hunting, guys. All right. And I will see you on the next one. Later.